UFC pay-per-view events are strongly awaited by fans who anticipate exciting matchups after much speculation. It's always exciting for potential viewers to have their theories confirmed when they see the perfect fight card. One such fight card was Chimaev versus Diaz, two badasses in the UFC. Let's take a look at what transpired about their fight. First up, Nate Diaz contract. Fans were met with a great degree of surprise when it was brought to their attention that UFC's longtime star Nate Diaz went to Twitter and requested, in public fashion, a release from his exclusive contract with the organization. Perhaps it was his age that seemed to be catching up to him, or maybe it was his recent loss that allowed him an opportunity to reflect. In his tweet, he tagged both the accounts of the organization itself and its owner and president, Dana White. He also included a tag which was directed towards Hunter Campbell, the UFC's chief business officer, who we believe would have played a significant role in expediting the process. As for what Diaz wrote on Twitter, his tweet read, "I would like to request to be released from the UFC. I apologize for asking online, but you don't give me a fight ASAP. I've got SHI you-know-what to do." Diaz and his representatives did not follow up this tweet with any response from their end, with many speculating what would happen next. Admittedly, this may be due to the fact that Diaz was justifiably frustrated by certain circumstantial realities. One particular reason could be seen in Diaz's previous tweet, which was made 3 before his call for ending his contract. This tweet was the evidence fans needed to figure out what exactly was causing such a reaction. It read, "Been trying to fight for 7 months. Now 7 months without a fight for a guy like Diaz could come off as nothing more than insulting. Understandably, the fighter's ego may have been bruised, and he really wanted to have his last great send-off in spectacular fashion." His online frustration is even further evident by the fact that he has, on several occasions, been publicly offering to fight a variety of opponents. These opponents included experienced fighters such as welterweight contender Vicente Luque, previously interim champion Dustin Poirier, and lightweight veteran Tony Ferguson. Unfortunately, Diaz was never booked for any of the fights he requested. An interesting development, however, if sources are to be believed, is that there have been discussions internally between Diaz and the organization in order to secure an extension in his deal. However, at this time, the two have not reached any sort of agreement on the matter. While official comment by the UFC and White hints towards scheduling something for Diaz, that remains to be shown. Fans have been eagerly awaiting the return of Diaz into the octagon, as he has not fought since his loss by decision to welterweight fighter Leon Edwards all the way back in last June. He had initially also expressed a desire to remain active after the fight, but it has been too long since his inactivity. According to sources, over this lengthy course of time being MIA from the octagon, the UFC decided to entertain Diaz's request to schedule a fight and align for it to be against the undefeated welterweight contender Khamzat Chimaev. Diaz declined the offer, claiming it was due to Chimaev's lack of UFC experience. He even told TMZ in an interview that he felt insulted merely at the suggestion of such a bout due to Chimaev being a rookie fighter. However, some claim that Diaz might just have the jitters after taking notice of the fact that Chimaev is actually undefeated. Now for The Leak. The Pivot podcast was filmed at the UFC headquarters featuring Dana White. However, the camera got a shot of White in front of the fight board. This board contained all of the upcoming fights which the UFC was trying to schedule and get underway. Fans put on their detective hats and began searching for any confirmation of theories or rumors. The informal investigation and search for clues eventually landed fans with a massive discovery. From the highly limited visibility of the matchups, fans caught a clear shot of a Diaz versus Chimaev scheduled to take place. Fans were absolutely elated to hear this news across both sides of the audience, perhaps because Diaz is a longtime fan favorite fighter and considered to truly embody that warrior spirit. And if this was to be Diaz's last fight in the UFC, on the off chance that he doesn't get a contract renewal, then who better to pick than up-and-coming undefeated striker Chimaev? Chimaev is beloved by fans due to his genuine personality and attitude towards approaching every bout. The man is a living success story, as he suffered much adversity in his early years and constantly strove to provide a better future for himself and his mother, in particular. Who doesn't love a mama's boy? Chimaev is an easy choice to back as well, considering his undefeated record in the history of his UFC career. Up next, the upset. The UFC finally put fans at ease by announcing the details of the UFC 276 pay-per-view event, which is their huge International Fight Week card set to take place in the vibrant city of Las Vegas on July 2nd. However, fans came to realize that a lot of speculation and hype was completely unfounded, as a key fight card seemed seemed to be missing, which till that point seemed to be all but confirmed. In an absolutely devastating upset, the major fight card of Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz was completely missing, which caused fans to erupt in dismay. This was particularly upsetting, especially considering the potential leak on the Pivot podcast. With Dana White being part of the shot that exposed the leak, his presence granted further credibility to the rumor. What would have been a fight for the ages now remains just another dear wish for fans. We can't be too hard on the UFC for not delivering on the bout, as they had never officially teased or in fact revealed the fight for UFC 276 at any point during its announcement and promotion. Fans have to be absolutely gutted after seeing the bout never made it into the final lineup. When White was reached out for comment, he revealed that those match cards are simply just placeholders and the fights aren't all confirmed. He highlighted the problem with reading too much into leaks like that as well. MMA Hour's Ariel Helwani commented on the speculation by saying that there is definitely something there and could potentially continue to be in the works later down the line. However, he admitted that he himself can't say for certain what that may look like. I guess even Helwani can't always have all the answers. Now, on to other news. Charles Oliveira loses millions. After being stripped of his lightweight title, Charles Oliveira is speculated to have lost millions in the process. Oliveira was set to put his title up for grabs against fighter Justin Gaethje, but unfortunately weighed in at half a pound over the designated limit and wasn't able to shed the extra weight he needed to, even after taking an extra hour to do so. The fight still went ahead and ended with a clutch submission where Oliveira choked out his rival. Chael Sonnen, who is an outspoken trash talker in the UFC, believes that a pay-per-view clause in the agreement would have dropped Oliveira's earnings from as much as $1 million, alone excluding potential sponsorship earnings. Sonnen claimed that if given the opportunity, he could calculate as much as a $2.3 million loss for Oliveira because of the scale failure issue. Ferguson released from hospital. In the first round of UFC 274, Tony Ferguson was knocked out cold in his bout with a shot to the face that went viral over the internet due to how brutal it really was. Ferguson was finally released from the hospital, and luckily he had his CT scan results come in negative to his relief. The CT scan was a priority method to check if the fighter was okay. This was because these scans are used to detect brain damage, especially when time is of the essence. Brain damage was in fact a particularly strong concern after Ferguson was hit in the face with a front kick 17 seconds into round 2. And what a kick it was. Viewers at home definitely felt that one. Ferguson was rocked so hard that even though he was eventually able to stand up on his own, he appeared confused and had to be helped onto a stool. How serious are the long-term health consequences of the knockout on Ferguson? Well, that's still unclear. Most boring fight in the UFC. In what many are calling one of the most boring fights in the history of the UFC, fans are rightfully upset after watching an uneventful championship bout. This bout involved Nama Yunus defending her strawweight title against Esparza, with the champion having to relinquish her belt after losing it in a points defeat. Fans vehemently booed the fighters throughout their bout due to the poor, lackluster performance which was being put on display. Fighters like Israel Adesanya poked fun at the bout. He was reacting to the event from home, but kept falling asleep during the championship bout. That's a wrap for this video. What UFC news should we cover next? Were you hyped about the Diaz vs. Chimaev fight like us? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.